Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Neil with Steel Mountain Capital. Just wanted to make a brief video on how I trade the S&P 500 with our algo. Um, Basically, our algo will pick up on trend changes in the market. And produce a signal, which our members get notifications to their cell phones, and they get some notifications to Discord as well. And once all that stuff is done, what I do is I will walk people through how to. Not how, but basically what I'm looking at as far as where I want to enter the market now. And I can kind of review a little bit of like what my strategy is. So like maybe real quick, like just like a brief overview of what my strategy is it's primarily playing support and resistance. And when I say support and resistance, I do look at short term support and resistance, as well as longer term support and resistance. And it's important to kind of keep an eye on all of that, because sometimes when our signal comes through, we'll get it might get a bullish signal, but yet the market looks like it kind of wants to go in an opposite direction. So you have to kind of like look a little bit further. You may have to look to some like longer term supports and resistances. And I can kind of point that out as we kind of work through this a little bit here. Um, but Sorry, I saw a notification here on this YouTube studio here. Something about the stream's current bit rate is too low or something. But I'm just gonna work through this a little bit. I don't think anything's wrong with the stream. Now, what we're looking at right now is a 5-minute chart for the S&P 500. This is the beginning of the U.S. market. So this over here on the left is like the overnight, the Globex market, and then we're pulling into the U.S. Open here around 14:30. So what I would be waiting for is some kind of indication. Overnight, we were kind of selling off on the 22nd, and as the opening, as the U.S. market opens, we actually get a bullish signal from our algo saying, the market is looking to continue to push up. So with that being said, as the market's going up, what I'm looking for is some kind of entries. And what I'm looking for is some kind of support, right? Where is this market going to come back? Because we're already coming up. We already went up. So what I'm looking for is like a retrace into support, and then set my limit order. All right, sorry, I don't know what's happening. My mic just keeps cutting out. Reason why I had to do this live, because if I was recording this, it would just drive me absolutely nuts. Um, but anyway, what I'm looking for is a retrace into support. So this would be my first entry here. So we get this bullish indicator that we're gonna push up. Um, and I'm gonna look for support. and this was support. We kind of fell down here. We kind of held this level. We tested this level. We rejected off of this level. Now this level is going to be good for a long, because we've got a signal that we're bullish. Enter into the trade right around here, and ride it for a little bit. And what I would do is I would be looking for exit somewhere around here, some previous resistance. Real quick trades. But then I would use this previous resistance as um, another support. So I would get out. I would wait for it to come back in, and re-enter, and then look for what was maybe some previous resistance. So here we are, previous resistance here. So keep in mind, remember what I said. I look for what I'm looking for is short term supports, and then maybe looking for if I don't see a level to exit right away. I will look for the next level, which could be up in this area here. We can hold this trade a lot longer because we know that there was some previous resistance, and more than likely the market's going to try to push back up, test that level, and then see what happens. And that was the final level right here, was right in this area right here. This was it. We kind of tested an area that was already created back overnight. So we're good. We can keep trading. We can keep trading off these bounces here, and this is like the beautiful thing. As long as we know that we're in a bullish market, we can just keep trading these supports. So support, resistance, easy, simple. That's kind of what I look for. Kind of what I'm kind of what I'm trading. Now I used to draw on my chart, like the support and resistance lines. I actually have an indicator that'll like auto draw those support and resistance lines, but I kind of like to take all that stuff off, because for me, it creates a little too much noise. So I'd rather just look at a clean naked chart for the most part, and trade off of that. So that's kind of how I trade that. Let's take a look at another day, right? So let's kind of look at something. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this day right here, right? So this is January 25th. All right. And we see, pre-market, I'd be sitting here, in the morning, drinking my coffee, reading the news, looking at, what might be happening. And then our market opens up. We're given a bullish signal, right? So, I mean, yeah, I definitely traded this. I entered right around here. We had this pullback, and we had a nice test of pre-market highs, all up in here. There's pre-market highs. We came up and tested it, but what happened right after that? Rejected, right? But my algo knew that we were still, even though this is a major move, right? This is a pretty big move. I mean, we're talking that's 63 points, and there was no adjustment made. There was no bearish signal that came in. But now how do you trade that? What do you do? I mean, you're not going to sit here and keep entering, 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 right? I mean, you could layer in, but why are you going to do that? I mean, this market's selling all these major bearish candles, right? I mean, each one of these candles is pretty big, and especially for the ES. It's just a market that I trade a lot. I know it doesn't move too much, right? I know I've traded for years now, so I kind of familiar with its moves. So, but anyway, getting back to how I would trade this, right? So I would let this entire move, the entirety of this move happen, right? But then what we got to say is, all right, so we have this level, right? So we know we got a level here. So let's draw let's draw a line here. So let's take this here. So we've got ourselves a red line right here, right? We know that, this market, let's move it up here, right? So let's move it up. Let's say we're looking here, right? The market's selling off. So, with the market selling off, what are we thinking, right? There's going to be a rebound at some point, right? So now we have to identify, when that rebound is going to occur, right? So keep in mind this red line, right? So let's keep in mind we have this red line on the chart, right? So let's try to find that red line. All right, so look at this red line, right? This is not touched yet. Not touched. Look, we're going back in time. This is January 21st now. January 21st, and then look at right here. Look at this. Look at where it came in, right? This is one of those things that, I talk about, right? So we've got to look back and we got to find long-term supports and resistance, right? So this line was used as resistance, and then support, 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 right? So it was a major line here. Look at this. It broke above that support, but didn't hold, and it fell right below, and then was just held as resistance. So I like to when we have major moves like this in the market, I won't just blindly go in because my algo says we're bullish. I'm not gonna blindly enter into these trades here because I see how aggressive we're moving, and you got to understand a little bit of price action as well. I mean, we see that we tested these highs and that we just couldn't continue to break these highs, right? So we start getting these smaller candles. We're getting these wicks down, and we here they tried to take over, the bulls tried to take over, and they just failed. And then this major bearish candle here is indicative that that it was just going to continue to sell, and it was a pretty aggressive sell. But you know what I mean. It what is occur over about 25 minutes, about a half hour. This entire move happened, and then what you could do is as long as you identify that there's a long term support, you could start looking to build into this. And I mean, this is a big bullish candle here too. And then this very next 5 minute candle is a really good indicator that we're just gonna continue to hold this and then move back up. So you could safely enter this market somewhere around here. You could safely enter and take another bullish trade. So another key thing there, like that like I said, like the long term supports and resistances are key to understand as well as the shorter term stuff. Let's take a look at let's see here. Let's go into this is the 27th. So kind of want to show how like sometimes we'll get signals that'll happen pre-market. Right here's a bearish signal, and it was beautiful. It was a nice sell-off overnight. And then when the U.S. market opened, we had a test of some support, and then rejection here. So beautiful short, beautiful entry. 46 points on that short, and then we get a change. It tries to change direction. Um, and basically the algo is just picking up on some indicators that I'm using, and thinking that the market's going to try to change trend. Again, you still have to trade. I mean, you have to understand how to watch price action and see what's happening in the market, and seeing the trend. Obviously the overall trend is down because we are also under the 200 period moving average, which is another thing that I use as a tool to follow trend. Is this the overall 200 period moving average? 20 period moving is just primarily there just for like the shorter time frames, shorter trend, but the overall trend, is down. So a lot of times I'll just kind of ignore these bullish signs until we get something like this here, where I could trade, knowing that the market's kind of changing direction, you know. Um, but yeah, so like that's how I would trade this type of market, right? So this day here, pre-market, again, like I said, an alert came in, and then what I'm looking for is a retrace into resistance, and set a limit order, and then a target price, somewhere down in here, but like, you might say, okay, well, where are you looking for the target, right? So like, how are you identifying this as a target, right? I mean, because there's nothing showing, right? So let's look at this line again, right? So I have to identify, all right, well, where could this market potentially fall down into, right? So where, because we know we're selling off, where could this sell off into, right? So we got to look and see this red line, right? And this is going, we're going days back here. So let's go all the way back here. We're now into the 21st, 20th, the 19th, and we're looking down into this area here, right? Which is, we've got some resistance here, and then all this price action, right? So we got to look and see like where are these clusters of price action occurring. So this is, something that I look for, when I enter into these trades. I gotta know. I gotta identify. All right, well, where am I gonna get in? Like, not only do I have to identify where am I getting in, but where am I exiting? So for that particular trade, I'm looking for an exit, somewhere down in this area, somewhere where there was where there's previous price action, and you just continue to trade this, continue to trade these resistance levels, and continue to look for these levels, look for these, for price action to continue back down into these areas. Again, another bearish signal comes in, uh, and then we gotta look for that resistance again, and enter into the trades. Um, so it's basically how I trade using my algo. And again, very limited. It's showing my strategy. I do a little bit more when we're in the market. It's live, and people are looking at these alerts that are coming in, and I'm testing. All right, here we go. Back. All right, sorry again, stupid mic. But yeah, so pretty much, like I said, it's support, resistance, and trend, and how I identify the trend is with the 200 period moving average and the 20 period moving average, for for the futures market. Now, Um, for those of you that are trading in the equities market, I wanna kind of walk through a little bit here of what I look for, in particular, you know, for like my swing trades, my longer term trades. And when I say swing trades, they could be, they could actually be, one day, could be, entire week, or it could be, a couple months for these swing trades. But you know, I what I like to do is I primarily look at the daily charts. That's all I do on the equities. I don't usually go into like the hourly, the 30-minute, the 5-minute charts. Like I could care less about what's happening there. I am strictly looking at the daily. And then what I'm looking at is daily, support and resistance. Same thing, that I look for in the futures market is what I'm looking for in the equities market, but it's just a little bit more drawn out. Because I'm looking for bigger moves. I'm not just looking for 10 cents, 20 cent move. I'm looking for maybe the move's going to be $3 to $4. If not more. Um, but let's take a look at one of the stocks that I'm looking at for Monday. It is ticker symbol INO. So Monday, I'm looking to get involved. Well, it could happen. I mean, it might not even happen on Monday, but let's say like for instance, this trade's gonna happen on Monday, right? We're gonna break above these levels here, right? We've been testing these levels here. And my thought is that we're gonna break above these levels, right? And 1395 is my level that I'm looking at. So this line here on the chart, 1395, is what I'm looking for. So if we get a break above 1395, I'm looking for this thing to push up up to about $18. And what I'm looking at is this area here, that we dealt with previously, back in August, back in September, and going into the beginning of October. I'm looking for this trade to kind of push up to about $18. Now, what I will probably do with this particular trade is I'm not gonna buy shares, but I'm gonna trade the options. So what I'm doing with this is I'm gonna be looking in particular. It is the February 5th option calls. So it's next Friday. The expiry is gonna be next Friday, and I'm looking at it as the $18 calls, and it is gonna be this one here. And what I'm doing is, what I like to do is, I'm just gonna limit my loss by buying a call option on it for $18. And my max loss that I could lose on this is $61. Now, another thing that I do here with the equities, and especially it doesn't matter if I'm trading options or if I'm trading shares. My goal my goal is at least 20%. Stop loss is 10%. So I'm limiting myself. So if it goes down 10%, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting that trade. If we get to 20%, I'm taking my profit. I'm getting out of the trade. So you know, there were a couple trades this past week. In particular, I traded SNDL, which is Sundial, and then I also got into NOC, which is Nokia. They were Wall Street bet calls. They were basically pumps. They were getting pumped. Um, and I got involved in Nokia, and Nokia actually exploded a lot quicker than I thought, and I ended up getting about 400% off of that trade. And then Sundial was 75%. Um, but my normal strategy in the equities market is trying to get 20%. So with this particular trade here on INO, I'm gonna be looking for 20%. But what I again, one of the reasons why I identified this one was looking at it on the daily chart. It looks like it wants to break out above this resistance here and push higher and test these levels here that it's made previously. So that's one particular stock. Now for those of you guys that are kind of new to like Weeble, I do use some screeners here. So I think this one is cheap. Yeah, this one's like cheap stocks with volume. Um, which are real. I mean, we're talking like some beaten down stocks here. Some decent volume and decent market cap. But what I would do is, tomorrow night I'll be coming in here, my office, and I'll be running my scanner. I'm probably going to be running another scanner here too, to try to pick up on some stocks that are down a little bit more. Maybe some stocks that are beaten down about, between 5 and 15%. And see if we can't get some long-term trades, going. So let's take a look at this company here. This is Westport Fuel. This is one. It's actually one that I've been watching, and let me give you guys an idea. Like if I, like, let's say I want to build into like a short term to medium term position. Where I want to get in. And I want to get in at a decent level, but I want to hold this for let's say 2 to 4 weeks, maybe a month and a half. All right. So um, what I'm looking at, like if I'm looking at this chart right now, we're already, looks like we're testing some previous resistance, right? So this week here, we had some, it kept coming up, testing this level, couldn't break it, right? Then we broke it, we broke through, probably on some sort of news or something happened to drive this stock up and test this level here. Now, to build into this position, what I would do is probably scale in somewhere in here, because this blue line is my 20 period moving average. What I would be doing is probably scaling in around $6.85. So initial entry will be 6.85 on ticker symbol WPRT. And then I will continue to build into this position if we continue to fall. If we keep coming down, I'll be adding at 622. Be adding at about $5. Adding at about $4, and then down into the $2 range. I mean, I hope it doesn't ever go back down there, but you never know. Never know what the stock's going to do. But what I do is, especially if I'm going to build into like a position and potentially hold it for a little bit longer, I will scale into these, and I'll scale in using the same methodology as I use when I'm trading the S&P 500. And if I'm trading with options and stuff like that, it's going to be same thing. It's support, resistance, and just using the moving average as kind of like a trend indicator. um, so I will. I'll probably be putting out some more alerts and stuff like that with some of my stock picks for this upcoming week. But And I hope this video is somewhat helpful. You know, I do plan on doing some one-on-one like mentoring and stuff like that. So, if people have like, more questions, we could do like, Q&A type one-on-one situation, or, even if it's with, multiple people, I could certainly do that. So, please reach out. We have some contact information on our website at steelmountaincap.com. That's steelmountaincap.com. Um, Head on over there. I'll show you the site here. Do I have it? Hold on one second. I think I have it. Yep, Steel Mountain Cap right here. Um, right now, you're sitting on our memberships page. I was updating this earlier today to add in the bullish and bearish alerts. But you can come in here and you can go to About Us and contact us and reach out. Send us an email, say, hey, if you're interested in, learning, or, you want to join in on like a one-on-one mentorship, just, drop a message here. It'll come over here to info. Either Trey or myself will get the email, and we'll respond to you, and we'll set up some mentoring sessions. All right. Again, everyone let's have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.